couple of months ago I finally got a chance to get my dream lens I've been wanting since I started out in photography, which is a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens. The reason why I brought this lens was because I have a lot of interest in wildlife photography and I needed a lens that was quite decent for the price, and as we all know, particularly Canon lenses, they're quite expensive, and if you want to have a big ginormous zoom lens that are able to go out to like 400, 600mm, whatever you want it to be, it's quite difficult to find the money to get that. So this is why I bought the Sigma 150 to 600, because I was able to get a lens that can go all the way to 600mm, and all I needed to pay was just under £600 to get it. So in this video I'm just basically going to explain my first impressions of using this lens. Now this won't be a full review of me explaining like the full ins and outs of this lens. I'm just going to be speaking about my general thoughts of what I think about this lens so far, what I've been able to notice, what are the pros, cons, that kind of thing, and then in the future I may make a video once I've had a lot of experience using this lens about what my general thoughts are. So a few days ago was my first proper experience using this lens, because I've been so busy with college and with other things going on in my life, I've not had a proper chance to go out and take photos with this lens. So a few days ago I visited a woodland park called Coombe Abbey, which is located in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. And I've been there a couple of times, so I knew what sort of wildlife there is there, which is like swans, geese, ducks, different kinds of birds, so I knew this would be a good location for me to practice doing some photos with it and see what I can come up with. So first off, what I noticed about this lens is that it's really heavy, but I knew this straight away before buying the lens that it is going to be quite a lot of weight, but for people who don't know, it is quite a heavy lens, so I would recommend maybe getting a good travel bag that you could take the lens out with, and also make sure you can have a bag that you're able to protect the lens as well as other camera equipment that you may bring with you on a photography trip. Whilst taking the photos, I noticed that it had pretty good image quality. I was able to capture quite a lot of detail on the different wildlife I was taking photos of. Even though it was my first trial taking this lens, I wasn't expecting to take so many good quality photos because it was my first time using it and I have no idea what would be the best setting for me to use this lens on, but I was able to capture some really good photos, so I was really impressed by that. I use this lens like handheld. I wanted to see what it was like taking photos handheld. Now again, as I mentioned before, the lens is quite heavy, so it was tricky at times, but I use this particular part here to hold the lens on and the camera, and I was taking photos through that, so it was able to help me a bit more. But I'm definitely going to be using more of a tripod in the future when it comes to using this particular lens, unless I'm taking a subject at like certain angles or certain particular locations where I don't necessarily need the tripod. I think this lens sometimes has trouble picking up certain parts of the body that where you want to take photos of, so it could be due to the fact that I was using this lens handheld, but I have no idea, so I've kind of will put that as a bit of a con, because you know, you want to take photos of your subject in like full focus wherever you're focusing the subject on, so I don't know why sometimes it would out of focus the face, but again it might be because I'm taking photos handheld. I'll just have to wait and see on that and have a good few months or a good year on using this lens and see if that's the lens, the camera, or me problem. On this lens as well, it's got like different buttons here. I haven't particularly used them properly yet, so there's like focus, there's like different like millimeter ones, there's the optional stabilizer, there's custom. I haven't properly used them yet, so I can't really give a full review on like what it's like on those different settings. And there's also like a lock where you can lock your lens as well, which I haven't really used yet, so I can't really comment on about them yet. So I think once I have some experience with it, I can comment a bit more on what it's like taking the photos on these different buttons. Overall, I really am impressed with this lens, and I do recommend it for people as a cheaper wildlife lens option, for people who, like me, want to get more into wildlife and want a better lens to take photos of the wildlife on and not having to worry about changing lenses constantly. But yeah, I do definitely recommend it. especially if you're a beginner wildlife photographer and you just need a cheaper option than not spending thousands of pounds of money on a lens. So I hope you've enjoyed the video of like my first impressions of this lens. This is my first review video of like any sorts, so hopefully I've done well and keep everyone interested in watching the video. If you can, please like, subscribe, comment any questions about this lens or anything about photography in general. I think about making more videos about like reviewing lenses, reviewing different equipment that I've got, and maybe doing some videos about how I edit, how I've taken certain photos, what kind of settings I've used, what kind of equipment I use, anything. So comment below about anything you would like me to do. Hope you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and see you in another video.